World Cup again. With Canada hosting part of the FIFA World Cup in 2026, there are a lot of potential economic benefits and disadvantages that come with it. The citizens of the country will be enjoying the athletes competing. However, they could be supporting a cause that will overall hurt their country's economy. Throughout this video, I'll be going over some of the economic advantages and economic disadvantages of hosting the World Cup. And then we're going to find, is it actually beneficial or is it detrimental to the economy? Starting with some of the economic benefits that comes with being the host country for the FIFA World Cup, that there is an increase in the public profile of the city or country. Also an increase of job opportunities and a short-term economic benefit with tons of tourism. Benefits that come with raising the public profile of the city or country is that it can create future tourism, which can lead to the increased amount of money a country receives, as there are more people there to spend money. Increased job opportunities for people in Canada. Residents of Canada will have more jobs to perform as there is new infrastructure being built. In 2018, there were about 220,000 new jobs that were created because of the World Cup. And in 2014 in Brazil, it created about 1 million new jobs. A short-term economic boost will occur since there are tons of tourists visiting the country. As a result, local hotels and restaurants will make more money and the economy is boosted overall. However, since it is a temporary event, the surge in income will only be here for a short amount of time, and as tourism goes down to regular levels, so will the economy, once the event is cascaded. So here's a list of all the advantages that we just went over. And so far, it's looking like the World Cup is pretty darn good. In terms of disadvantages, there are large expenses that must be undertaken while hosting the World Cup. The benefits are also taken by FIFA rather than the host country, and also tax breaks. The first disadvantages that we will go over is that there are large expenses to be undertaken. These countries are expected to have extremely high quality stadiums, which would cost a lot of money to build. Not to mention, there is a higher demand for hotels and temporary housing to help bring in players and fans from foreign countries. These expenses are expected to be undertaken by the government. Also, if countries don't have any further use for the stadium, they might result to breaking down the building instead of using it for further use. In the event the city of Toronto gets to host the World Cup, they will have to expand BMO Field. Since a World Cup stadium should fit upwards to 40,000 people, BMO can only fit 30,000 people. The next disadvantage we'll be going over is that benefits are taken by FIFA rather than the host country. A large part of the profits in the World Cup tournaments are drawn in from ticket sales and television rights to the event. Surprisingly, the host country does not receive any of the profits from those sales. The profits belong all to FIFA. Therefore, the money is being vacuumed by FIFA whilst the expenses are being passed on to the taxpayers of the country. Years ago, in Brazil, there have been cases where the Brazilian government has been asked by FIFA officials to stop the small local vendors. FIFA wants the people to enter the stadium and buy merchandise and food there rather than the vendors on the street. The last disadvantage I will be revising is tax breaks. All the money that FIFA makes during the World Cup is tax-free. Since it's tax-free, it's almost useless for the host country's government as they make no money off of taxes. If residents from the country would spend money on restaurants, it would be much more beneficial from the economy as they are taxed. And the money is made by the restaurants and not a monopoly like FIFA. In the 2018 World Cup in Russia, an average ticket from the quarterfinals, semifinals, third place, and finals were priced at $648.25. During that World Cup, 2.5 million tickets were sold. So now doing some math, 648.25 times 2.5 million is 1,620,625,000. That money went all to FIFA rather than Russia. Not to mention the people who viewed the event on television rather than live. That money is taken by FIFA too. Now let's say in 2018, 2.5 million people came to Russia to watch the Russia national football team. A ticket for a game there is about 500 rubles or $11.23 Canadian. $11.23 times 2,500,000 is 28,075,000. Given the benefits and disadvantages of hosting the FIFA World Cup, I believe that the disadvantages are much greater than the advantages. Not to mention the Canadian economy does not get any profits from the sales on tickets or television rights. In terms of advantages, a short-term economic boost does not mean much when the economy will reset to its prior stage once the event has subsided. An argument supporting an increase in the economy is said by World Bank, as they state that the economy is expected to expand by 3% over the medium term. However, I cannot ignore the fact that there are little to no long-term economic benefits I was able to find. Overall, hosting the World Cup may seem like it would be great for the economy, while in reality it is actually not great economically.